Hello, my beautiful friend. Today we're talking about mindful eating and weight management as part of our Module 4 in how to create a relaxed home program. Now, this can be quite an emotive subject for a lot of us. So if you are feeling that this is bringing up some unpleasant thoughts or some emotions, I'd just like you to place your feet on the floor and just take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just acknowledge the thoughts that are coming up. Just see what's happening. And just let them flow through you. We don't need to suppress anything. We don't need to keep it in our bodies. Just let it flow through you and out you. Our relationship to our food, it's central and it reflects our attitude towards ourselves and our environment. And this is why I made it into Module 4, because I really wanted you to work on your self-love before we came into this module. I wanted you to work on your mindfulness and your meditations before we came into this module. So as a practice, mindful eating can bring about awareness of our own actions, our thoughts, our feelings, our motivations, and it's a real insight into the roots of our health, our happiness and contentment. So let's look at the principles of mindfulness before we get into mindful eating. So mindfulness, it's deliberately paying attention without judgment, just as we did in the breathing technique we just did, and being aware and being fully present in the actual moment that we're living in. Mindfulness encompasses both our internal processes and our external environments. Mindfulness, it's being aware of our thoughts and our emotions and any physical sensations in the present moment, right now. Now with practice, mindfulness, it can cultivate the possibility of freeing ourselves from our reactive behaviours, from the habitual, perhaps emotional patterns of our thinking, of our feeling and our acting. Now mindfulness, it promotes a balance, a choice and a wisdom of what actually is, just an acceptance of what is. Teaches us to understand that there are stresses in everybody's life, but it's our reaction to those stresses that really brings us into the present moment. So mindful eating, it allows ourselves to become aware of the positive and the nurturing opportunities that are available through our foods and through our selections and our preparations, and respecting our own inner wisdom. So there are so many diets out there, but not every diet is going to suit you. What your friend was doing, if they were on a raw diet, might not suit you. If somebody else is a vegetarian and you need to eat meat, it's okay. You need to do what's good for your own body and how you feel ethically about things as well. So using our senses to choose and eat our food, and it's both so much more satisfying and nourishing for our bodies. Acknowledging the responses to our foods, our likes, dislikes, neutral, without judgment. And becoming aware of our physical hunger and also becoming aware of when we feel satisfied, so we can eat when we actually feel hungry and we can stop when we're full. It sounds simple, but often it doesn't happen. So someone who eats mindfully, they acknowledge, like I said, that there is no right or wrong way to eat, but just varying degrees of awareness. And so the experiences of food and what's good for your own body, and accepting that we're all unique, and accepting that our uniqueness changes also from when we were a baby to a toddler to when we were a teenager to now. There's so many different uniqueness of us because we change in our unique ways as well. So someone who eats mindfully is an individual who by choice directs their attention to eating on a moment-to-moment basis. Not eating for emotion, not eating because you're bored, not eating because you're thirsty, but really recognising when we need to eat. We gain awareness of how we can make choices that can support our health and well-being. And we also become a lot more aware of the interconnection of the earth, of the living things, of the cultural practices, and how these impact our food choices and how this impacts our whole entire system. So eating, it just has a profound effect on your health. I'm sure you've heard that food can be medicine, or medicine can be food. So every time we put something into our mouth, we have this opportunity to either enhance or diminish our lives. It's our choice. So making good food choices is perhaps one of the most single important ways that you can take care of your body and manage your weight. Just as we've discussed putting good thoughts into your mind, we can put good foods into our bodies. So many people have huge health problems, as I did, with my stomach operations, and a lot of it had to do with diet and food. And I needed to make those experiments with myself to see what is good for me. Not what is good for anyone else, but what is good for me. So often we have inadequate nutrients, which causes so many other problems. And a lot of these foods that we put into our mouths these days are lacking in nutrients, the processed foods. The animal fats, the sugars, the white flours, the pastas, these all increase inflammation in the body, which can lead to so many other physical but also mental illnesses. When we've already seen before in our other modules how stress can affect other systems, but it can also really affect our digestive system. So in order to counter the effect of stress and create a lifestyle that doesn't contribute to this chronic disease, which is why you are all here, my friends, it's important to eat this nutritious foods and drink 7 to 8 glasses of pure water daily. Now I'll tell you a little story. In one of the places I was teaching yoga a couple of years ago, a fellow kept saying, I'm so tired, I'm so stiff, I'm so sore, what else can I do? And I said, well, you know, water's really good for your flexibility, it makes things fluid, it's really great. How many glasses of water are you drinking? And he said, I have probably, 8 or 9 or 10 glasses of water every day. And I said, oh, that's good. You're probably doing that well. And then we kept talking. And I said, do you put anything in your water? And he said, yeah, I put coffee in my water. And I said, pardon? And he said, yeah, I have my water when I drink my coffee. And do you know what? I just didn't really know what to do at that time. I didn't know whether to shake my head and walk away or laugh or, anything. My friend, if you're drinking coffee in your water, it's not going to be good for you. If you have fruit in your water, that's great. But if you really want to get the water into you, just drink water, not coffee in your water. We need to have nutritious foods, whole foods, foods that have been minimally processed, foods full of vitamins and minerals. We all know this, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, preferably out of your own garden if you can. whole grains, beans, nuts, seeds, unprocessed fish, chicken, other meats if you choose to. Now, processed foods are always going to be deficient in essential nutrients. They're always going to be full of unwanted chemicals. If you see a fat-free product, it usually is boosted up with sugar to make it taste better. So they've taken out some of the good fats and actually put in a really bad substance for you. So this is what we really don't want. Now, once you realise where you are with regard to your eating, we can set this new direction. So there's no point berating ourselves on what we've done in the past. There is absolutely no point. Let's just start. Just start with a big, beautiful bottle of water. Just start. Doesn't matter what has happened in the past. Let's be in the present moment and make these small, small changes as we go along to create huge changes in your life. We're all unique, we're all different. Now, mindful eating, it gives you a full attention to the food. So there's nothing else we're doing while we're mindfully eating. There is nothing else, and we're not standing at the kitchen table scoffing it down either. We're sitting, we don't have anything else around us, we're just eating. It's quite a different experience. So many people, we eat for so many different reasons. Animals are clever. They eat when they're hungry. They stop when they're full. Humans are stupid. We eat for so many different reasons. Emotionally, maybe we're thirsty. So when we're mindfully eating, we eat slowly. We become more aware of what we're putting in our mouths, why we're putting it in our mouths, why we're choosing to do this. And actually, food tastes better and it smells better. And we know when we're full because we're actually focusing on what we're doing. So when we're practicing meditative eating, we might change how we eat. We might have smaller portions. Our taste buds might have changed. We might notice that junk food tastes like junk. We might notice that we're full and we'll stop eating. We might notice that we're craving vegetables. So normally most of us eat automatically. I'm going to give you an experiment to eat a little differently. So we're paying full attention, non-judgmental attention, an open way, and this is just a way of staying present in the moment. So pause the video, go and grab a small piece of food, and I will see you in the next one.